Hello, my name's Ian. I'm going to talk about my journey on the standards check and how I'm going to try and improve my score for the next test, which is on the 15th of May 2023. I've got the first thing is that on Monday I was a bit down, and this does affect your driving. It also affects you as a driving instructor, so it is actually important. So I spoke to my friend Matthew Jones in Knaresborough, and he helped me. He said that if a problem's shared, a problem's halved. So he took some of that burden off me, which made me feel good. I did the video because I felt better, so thank you, Matthew. And then after that, I went to my cleaning job at Ormiston Bushwood Academy from 12:30 to 2:30. My next lesson was at 3:15 at Ormiston Bushwood Academy. So I got him out of the shower, and then I phoned my trainer in Milton Keynes. He's not too keen about his name being put out, but he advised me, and he said that that sometimes when we're down, we see a situation, we imagine that we're that person in that situation, how we'd feel, and it can be upsetting sometimes. So he said that these are normal thoughts. They're not good or bad thoughts. They're normal thoughts. If I was that person in that situation with that other person, would I be very happy? And I'm not in that situation. So these are normal thoughts, and life can be tormenting. This is his opinion and how he said it. Now, the fact that I shared that with Matthew Jones and with my trainer in Milton Keynes helped me to do the 2 lessons in the after that a lot better. I was sad, but I'd shared those problems and they'd helped me. So I had a lesson from 3:15 till 4:15, starting at Ormiston Bushwood Academy. This was her 15th hour lesson, and what happened last time was that as we were going to turn left onto Arundel Road, a car overtook a cyclist, and we kind of moved out a little bit quick. We should have maybe seen that and held back. So I said, the next lesson I'd like to work on that. So in my mind I said I wanted to work on that. So I mentioned that to her. So we drove, she was in agreement with this from the Ormiston Bushwood Academy car park. So we drove to near Arundel Road where we did it last time. And on the way she was saying, I'm not sure what you mean by emerging. So that's great. So we pulled over, and then we just talked about emerging so that she'd know what it was. And then we went and did it. So I got her to now look to the right, left, and right, and that left is important. The right, final right is important, the most important, but that left is important. So we did that, and that she understood that at that point. So as part of the standards check, it says, did the trainer identify the pupil's learning goals and needs? So I identified the pupil's learning needs, which was to understand that we have to check to the left when we're coming out of onto a main road, as well as the right, and the final right one's the one we check. Was the agreed lesson structure appropriate for the pupil's experience and ability? Well, this was her 15th hour, and I felt that it was, and she was happy with what we did. Once we've dealt with that, we identified that the emergency stop would be a good one to do. I said, is there anything you really want to work on? And then we worked on the emergency stop. So we went to Orton, Longville Village, and the new part, and we went round in a loop and did an emergency stop. There's a few mistakes, then we eventually got it. She eventually got it completely correct. And I said, do you feel happy about that? Are you happy to move on to the next subject? And I said, we're going to do parkways, dual carriageways. Are you happy about that? And she wasn't happy. So I said, well, should we just try three lots of stretches of dual carriageway, around about each one, to see if you can build your confidence on that. She agreed to that. That was fine. So we went out, and I talked about it and asked a few questions about emerging, and yeah, just how to emerge onto the partway. Where we did it, we didn't actually need to emerge because he went out and it was like a separate lane to go to the next roundabout to turn right. So her her, her high speed driving was worked on, and then the intention is next Monday at 3:15, is to actually do the work on the speed. So we might, if you see how she feels. If she's not happy on the dual carriageways, we'll go on country roads and maybe 40 or 50 mile an hour limits, and then work up to 60. Then go onto the dual carriageway. So that's the plan for next time. My customer at 5:15, she that was in Stanground. She I asked her, is there any areas you want to work on, and she said the Bay Park reversing. So, oh great, she sees in the driving seat, she's decided what she wants to do. And so I said, do you want to do it here in Stanground, or do you want to go and do it on one of the test routes in the centre of town? So she wanted to do it on one of the test routes in the centre of town. So the Bishops Road car park where the Lido swimming pool is, and the Bishops Road car park at the back of the town hall, we went and did it there. So I got her to look for the yellow dot on the door and make sure it's level with the white paint, the level with the white paint. And what happened then was, when it was level, we obviously steered to the left. Now there was times when we didn't make it, and I said you need to turn it a bit brisker to get it in. Now what I could have done is I said, do you know why it hasn't gone in, what we've done differently, and how we could get it in? So it meant that she could correct it. She could turn the steering wheel, work out actually I need to turn the steering wheel quicker to get it round. So I should have done that to help. It says here was the lecture. So was the pupil encouraged to reflect on their own performance, and was the pupil encouraged to analyse problems and take responsibility for their learning? So I want them to analyse that problem and to try and take responsibility for it. So when I was 17, I realised that I need to get both headlamps of a lorry in my left mirror as I'm overtaking before I pull in, so I don't cut them up. I worked that out myself. Because I worked it out myself, it was 30 years ago when I was learning to drive. That stuck in my mind. And what happens is, now I've realised you get both headlamps in there, you signal. When they're both headlamps in the middle one, then we pull over. So that, because I learnt that myself, I held on to it more. So I need to get the customer, so maybe I should have said to her, do you know why we're not getting it in? And if she doesn't know, I say, well, do you think it's anything to do with the speed of the steering? That might make it go in quicker, so that she can remember it better. So that's what I need to do next time. So and then after that we went to do the parallel park, and we as we came to Stanground, we sort of ran out of time. So the plan is next time to work on the parallel park. And I always sort of say, how much support do you want me to give you? With this second lady, number 2, at 5:15, that was her 14th hour, and so she's quite good on the just doing everything. So these are just some of my thoughts just to help me in my standards check.